I truly wish more people understood the tariffs that President Trump is implementing. I wish more people knew what kind of freedom that's going to give the American people. President Trump is trying to use these tariffs to get rid of taxes. And I'm telling you guys, he is very smart. That's how the country was ran before taxes. I truly have a hard time understanding how anybody could be against that. I understand maybe not liking him, but who could be against getting rid of taxes? Who is against having more money in your pocket? The only people that could be against that are the people who has truly never paid taxes. Before you complain and talk about how terrible it is, give him the opportunity to show you. I hope all you guys are having a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day here in the state of Kentucky. God bless.
As a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. They're the largest exporters of soybean meal in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition. And then the Chinese buy, I think the figure is 30 or 40 containers, ships, which is about 65,000 metric tons per ship, which is like 2.2 million bushels. So they buy 12 or 14 billion dollars worth of soybeans from the Argentinians after the tax holiday. And here's the caveat to it. They give $2.30 over the November board, while I'm getting 50 cents under the November board. So that makes the Argentinian soybeans about $12.42 a bushel. I think that's the real figure they gave. So all my premium went.
Scott, I just lost you there at the end. You said your premiums go?
They all went to Argentina.
All right, folks, gather round, because today's episode of MAGA FAFO Theater might just be my favorite one yet. You remember those MAGA farmers who were out there waving flags, chanting "Make America Great Again," and praising Trump for standing up to China? Yeah. Turns out Daddy Trump just bailed out Argentina with $20 billion, and Argentina's response? Selling their soybeans straight to China. I wish I was making this up, but nope, it's as real as the red hats and the tears currently flowing in farm country. See, this is what happens when you worship a man who treats international trade like a TikTok trend. Trump slaps tariffs on China, China says, cool, we'll buy from somewhere else, and now those MAGA farmers, who once proudly backed this genius idea, are sitting on piles of unsold soybeans while their beloved leader cuts deals that benefit literally everyone but them. Oh, and the cherry on top? Argentina's president, Javier Milei, yeah, the one Trump can't stop calling a great guy, is out here throwing a rock concert at his book launch, shredding on stage like it's Coachella for libertarians, probably humming a tune called "Thanks for the Billions, America." The man's having the time of his life, while back in the States, Trump's farmers are praying for rain, sanity, and maybe a clue. And you can't even be mad at Argentina. They're playing chess while Trump's still eating the checkers. Because, let's be honest, this isn't diplomacy, it's griftonomics. A $20 billion bailout dressed up as foreign policy that somehow benefits Trump's billionaire friends, global investors, and anyone but the American taxpayer footing the bill. MAGA keeps saying he fights for us, but last I checked, the only thing Trump's fighting for is his next yacht payment. It's almost poetic. America's farmers made Trump their hero, and now he's busy turning their crops into someone else's profit margin. They're out here defending him with Bible quotes and barn prayers while their soybeans are literally crossing the ocean to feed the same Chinese market they were told to hate.
This, my friends, is what we call the global edition of FAFO season. It's betrayal, irony, and comedy all rolled into one $20 billion tab. So before I give myself a brain freeze thinking about it any longer, let's roll the clips and see what Americans have to say about this.
For a long time, I have made disparaging comments about our beloved commander-in-chief, but I now see the light of his genius. He's playing like 4D chess, and I'm just a little checkers kind of player. I mean, first he tariffs China, and then they retaliate by no longer buying our soybeans, which is a $20 billion industry that supports American farmers. So they're hurting. So then Donald Trump, so smart, oh my God, so smart. He says that he'll give those farmers some of all the money he's getting in tariffs. And then he goes and he gives $20 billion to Argentina. Oh my God, this is genius, guys. Oh my God, so smart. My mind is just like, wow. And Argentina is the largest soybean competitor to American farmers in the world. And then Argentina goes and sells $12 billion of soybeans to China so that China doesn't, suffer from the fact that they're no longer buying our soybeans. Yeah. Oh my God, guys, I was just so delusional not to see the absolute genius that is Donald Trump before. And I have seen the light now, and I am just so profoundly grateful for dear leader.
Trump is using $20 billion, $20 billion of our dollars to bail out Argentina. It's done. It's a done deal because their economy isn't doing so great. So here, $20 billion. Take it. This does not benefit us at all. But there is a billionaire, undoubtedly a Trump donor, who will make a fortune off of this. He's a friend and former colleague of Scott Bessent. You see, that billionaire bought up a significant amount of Argentina's debt, as well as equity in companies that will benefit when the economy does better. Scott Bessent decided to use our money to make sure that happens for that guy. As Argentina's economy was crashing out, that billionaire was about to lose a fortune. God forbid. So Trump decided we needed to bail that guy out. It's not about Argentina. Listen to this. Bessent's personal and professional relationship with Citron, Citron, has spanned decades. In a May 14th appearance on the Goldman Sachs Exchange podcast, Citron revealed how he delivered a financial windfall for Bessent. They were both working for investor George Soros in 2013 when Citron convinced Bessent and Soros to bet on the US dollar against the Japanese yen. Blah, blah, blah. And I kind of convinced George and Scott Bessent at the time to go big in that. And Scott says I'm responsible for 75% of his bonus at Soros. And they fucking cut Meals on Wheels. Almost forgot the soybean farmers. In 2024, it was a $25 billion export. Half of that coming from China, who is now not buying any because of Trump's tariffs. Guess where they're getting them from instead? Argentina. There were people, including most of those farmers, who voted for Trump thinking he would really put America first. With Trump, he's always first. Always.
You hear that, folks? There's always a billionaire involved. Every single time. It's like the plot twist we all saw coming, but somehow MAGA farmers didn't get the memo. These guys gutted their own farms, cheered while tariffs wrecked their profits, and clapped for the very policies that made billionaires even richer. And now, surprise, surprise, Trump is at it again. He's not doing this Argentina bailout out of kindness or strategy. He's doing it for two very predictable reasons: to help out a billionaire buddy of his, and to make sure American farmers stay broke long enough for JD Vance's farmland investment company to swoop in and buy their land for pennies on the dollar. And honestly, watching MAGA farmers line up again to beg the biggest alligator in the swamp for help, it's painful. You'd think after being burned this many times, the lesson would stick, but nope. Here they are again, smiling for the cameras, pleading for bailouts from a man who couldn't care less if their barns burned down tomorrow. This right here is why billionaires are bad for America. It's not just about greed. It's about control. When billionaires control the economy, they control the narrative, the politicians, and eventually, the people. We've reached a point where the government bends over backward to keep them happy while everyday Americans lose healthcare, can't afford groceries, and drown under student loans. Billionaires don't lose sleep over recessions. They profit from them. When you're wondering why hospitals are closing, why teachers can't get paid, or why insulin still costs as much as rent, It's because the system is rigged to keep the top 1% fat and comfortable while the rest of the country fights over crumbs. So, yeah, watching this whole circus unfold, it's both tragic and absurd. Billionaires keep winning, MAGA keeps clapping, and the rest of America keeps paying the price. Let's keep watching.
Hello, I am Chinese President Xi Jinping. Hello, I am U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent. I declare trade war. Thank you. I will no longer be buying soybeans from America. What? Hello, I am Argentinian President Javier Milei. China, we would be happy to sell you soybeans. America, I would also like an economic bailout of $20 billion. Okie dokie, artichoke. Oh, I am billionaire hedge fund manager Rob Citrone. Hello, I am your former colleague and personal friend, U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent. Scott, I have purchased a massive quantity of extremely risky Argentinian debt. Even though they have defaulted many times before, the probability of default is minuscule. Scott, I need you to get $20 billion from the IMF right now. Cool beans, tangerines. There's no way that'll happen again. Oh God, it's happening again. Scott, I need you to get another $20 billion from the United States. Spot on, Parmesan. But before you do, I'm gonna buy even more distressed Argentinian debt so that when you announce a bailout, I'll make a killing. Okie yay, creme brulee. Oh my God, stop.
Mr. Trump, see this? I was your supporter. I was your supporter. I used to love you, but don't you dare give any of my money. Don't you give $20 billion of our money to the leader of Argentina so that he can just give it over to Netanyahu.
He, in fact, is giving money to Argentina.
And to the people of Argentina, we're backing him 100%. We think he's done a fantastic job. He, like us, inherited a mess, and what he's done to fix it is good. And Scott is working with their country so that they can get good debt and all of the things that you need to make Argentina great again.
Oh, so that is why Trump is giving a $20 billion bailout to Argentina. Now it makes sense. Okay, so you heard about this, right? As our government prepares to shut down because Trump refuses to give healthcare coverage to Americans, he instead is giving $20 billion cash to the insane, failed regime of Javier Milei. Why? Corruption, of course. What the hell else could it be? So this is our Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, the man getting filthy rich off the tariffs. But wait, why is he and his friend Robert Citrone buying up Argentina's bonds lately? Yep, this is Robert Citrone, Bessent's billionaire buddy. They're good friends, they've worked together a long time, and he has been investing heavily into Argentina ever since Milei took over. Which, as you can imagine, is not going very well for him. So this bailout will directly benefit Citrone and presumably every member of Trump's administration who was given insider tips about this in advance. Oh, and look at this. China is buying Argentina's soybeans since they canceled all U.S. orders.
Hey there, MAGA. How you doing? Did y'all see this here? Thought it was America first, wasn't it? I thought we weren't supposed to be giving billions of dollars to other countries, except for, so they can keep blowing up brown children with our bombs. But aside from that, I thought we were supposed to be keeping all of our money for Americans. I mean, we're certainly keeping all of our soybeans for Americans since they're now worthless because bankruptcy Benito decided to fuck up our biggest trade partner for them. Now they're buying them from Brazil and Argentina instead of American farmers. Those same American farmers that are now going bankrupt because all of you dumb motherfuckers have the economic literacy of a 10-year-old with a credit card in Toys R Us. Even though you pudding brain troglodytes saw how stupid tariffs were the last time you elected the dumbest thing to ever slip through a condom to the Oval Office. And now your little mango molester is giving this knob goblin $20 billion of our dollars to bail out Argentina's economy. The same Argentinian alt-right libertarian loser who just lifted tariffs on China so they could sell them 20 shiploads of their soybeans. So China can get the cheap soybeans that they used to buy from us. So what say you little toothless pet oven cousin? Huh? Where's that America First energy now? Just seems kind of strange that after all that America First patriotic preaching bullshit, saying that we just couldn't afford to support American farmers with USAID because we were giving stuff away for free to starving children, are now chomping at the bit to bail out Argentinian farmers. And for all you MAGA voting farmers, maybe you should go check out some farmland down there because clearly the dipshit you dumbasses decided to vote for will take much better care of you if you're in Argentina. And don't worry about your property here. JD Vance is already already with a nice low offer to pay pennies on the dollar for your bankrupt family farm. But hey, since conservatives have also crashed the economy so bad in Argentina too that they need an American bailout, I'm sure you can find some cheap land and it'll all work out.
Earlier this year, Elon Musk practically pitched a tent at the White House, bragging about how he was supposedly helping cut excess government spending under something called Doge. I wish I were kidding. Imagine that. Billionaires playing savior while the working class foots the bill. Republicans and MAGA supporters have been lied to so many times that at this point, it's basically a personality trait. And to be fair, the American people at large have bought into this lie. The idea that these ultra-rich guys couldn't possibly steal from you because, hey, they already have more than enough money, right? Wrong. I watched interview after interview with MAGA folks, broke as hell, barely making rent, praising Elon like he was some patriotic messiah. God bless him for helping America for free, one said. Another chimed in, Trump is great because he doesn't even take a salary. I mean, come on. The man makes more selling red hats than some small towns make in a year. It's comedy gold if it weren't so tragic, because nothing, and I mean nothing these people do is America first. Let's not forget that while Elon was still acting like Trump's unofficial vice president, or was it the other way around, Trump quietly imported white South African farmers and rolled out the red carpet for them. Housing, subsidies, full VIP treatment. But when it came to American farmers, the same folks who worshipped him, crickets, not even a bag of seed. Now, fast forward to this latest fiasco. Trump's government bailing out Argentina with $20 billion, while Argentina turns around and sells soybeans to China. The same China that stopped buying from the US because of his tariffs. You can't make this stuff up. There are a few theories floating around about why this money's really going to Argentina. And trust me, we'll get into those clips in just a second. But honestly, if you're a normal, functioning adult with a couple of brain cells still firing, you have to wonder how anyone still supports a man who humiliates his own base every time he opens his mouth. It takes a special kind of stupid, the kind that comes with a red hat and a lifetime subscription to F around and find out. Let's roll the clips.
We are $37 trillion in debt, and the federal government is currently shut down. There is no more money coming into the federal government's coffers.
Wait a minute. What about all that money that Doge recovered from all that fraud and waste? Where'd that go? I guess we'll never know.
My people, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why the United States would bail out Argentina's failing economy to the tune of $20 billion. I couldn't think of why we would do that. What geopolitical benefit is there to bailing out Argentina to the tune of $20 billion from an America First administration? Well, my thinking led me to looking, and I discovered that Argentina produces minerals that we need here. Lithium, silver, copper, molybdenum, gold, things that we're experiencing shortages of, critical shortages of here in the United States. You know what industry uses these? You guessed it, the tech sector, the tech industry. This is a transfer of wealth for mineral rights from the tech industry, the U.S. tech bros to Argentina for unmitigated access to their critical minerals as we try to move away from our dependence on China during this fucking trade war.
So I've been sitting here figuring out why would Orange Fuckstick give Argentina $20 billion? Why? Right? And then so I started doing a little bit of research. Now, I mean, they export to us, right, mineral fuels, crude oil, and pharmaceuticals, right? But they import billions in mineral fuels, right? They import that to themselves as well, right? But they don't have oil seeds, organic chemicals, plastics, pharmaceuticals, optical, technical, and medical apparatuses, and iron and steel. Now, you gotta think beyond, right? So Orange Fuck Sticks, all his rich people, right? They all have factories over in China, right? So they take U.S. taxpayer money, give it to Argentina. Argentina pays these companies, these billionaires, right, for their products that they have made in China. And then they hide the money for tax purposes in the fucking Caymans. It's all a fucking con. It's all a fucking con.
Yes, it's all one big con. Whichever way you cut it, someone's always grifting somewhere. A billionaire, a hedge fund guy, a CEO with a god complex, or some politician pretending to be a man of the people. It's all smoke and mirrors. Every headline, every bailout, every economic miracle has a rich man's fingerprints all over it. And the sad part? It's been going on for so long that most Americans don't even notice anymore. We've reached a point where people can't afford healthcare, teachers can't afford rent, and grocery bills look like mortgage statements. Yet billionaires are flying rockets to Mars and calling it innovation. We used to be the world standard for opportunity, but now third world countries are laughing at whether we still have functioning schools. And honestly, I stopped questioning why. We've let greed, ignorance, and celebrity worship replace common sense. Meanwhile, MAGA still doesn't see the grift. They're cheering for the very people stealing from them, defending billionaires who wouldn't cross the street to help them if they were on fire. They think Trump's doing it for them, but he's just doing it to them, over and over again. So yeah, as we head into the midterms, I can't help but wonder, will people finally see it? Will they finally connect the dots? Or will they fall for the same cheap sales pitch all over again? The same America First slogan that's really just billionaires first. We should wake up, America, because billionaires are ruining this country. One deal, one bailout, and one red hat at a time. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, because if there's ever been a time to talk about this, it's now.